Okay, so before I do this, I don't really think I'm in any real position to give anyone guitar lessons, but a couple of people had asked me about something I've been doing lately, and I wanted to share it. I'm happy to share it because we're all kind of struggling with things that we're trying to master, and it's all different depending on who you are and what you're into and what kind of music. And I was focusing a lot on my rhythm playing for a while, recording clips and focusing on just like coming up with riffs and stuff, and I really abandoned my lead playing. And then when I went back to it, you know, I was struggling with some stuff. So I've kind of come up with some good techniques to help myself. I'm probably going to screw up while I'm doing it here. But one of the things that I was trying to really get better at was, you know, doing like these fast kind of like pentatonic runs. And it's funny, on the higher strings is where I would screw up. But, you know, typically your thing like, right? Now if you notice, I keep hitting that string. And it's just all messy. That's how it used to sound. But then I kind of realized as I was trying to like get this right is that if I barred, you know, if I barred the first two strings, I eliminated all the string noise. So I went from playing it like, which is how I used to play it, and every time I did that, I did that. And now, you know, and if you move it, of course I'm screwing up because I'm doing it live. But I encourage you to try that because that's basically the gist of it. Instead of going like traditionally, like, which is, you know, I'm kind of messing up on purpose, but I'm almost not. But, you know, this is the old way I used to do it. Of course I'm going to screw up. So now when I bar it, there's no open strings. So I hope that's a good trick. And as you get better at it, you'll notice that your first string doesn't always stay barred. You know, but anyway, so that's what I've been doing, and that's largely why it's sounding better. And it's these little things that make a big difference. So barring, I'm using my pinky because my hands are so small, and when I was using my third finger, I would kind of like lean like that, which would also screw me up. The other thing that I wanted to share was that I used to play guitar like this. Like I used to lean my fingers like this. And I used to like, I'm exaggerating, but I used to like lean and make strings go out of tune by doing that. Like playing like that. And then I noticed that if you have your fingers like perpendicular, it's much cleaner. And I think I noticed this from like watching like Steve Stevens. His fingers almost like stay like, his fingers would literally like be up like this, and I think, I don't know if he said it was like a flamenco thing or whatever it is, or classical thing, but I noticed that the more my hands were standing completely upright, the better I played. You know, when I play, like, instead of going, which is hard to... I played that better than I thought I would, but when you have your fingers upright, it's just easier. So, so my advice is like keep your fingers like upright, you know, instead of leaning them down. And when you play these like these, I used to actually be into Dream Theater. You know, when you do these runs, like, you know, your fingers aren't like that. You know, they're upright. So I've been working on that. The other interesting thing was my friend got me a lesson with Andy Timmons, and it was the fucking greatest lesson ever. We actually had audio video issues. Like he and I just didn't know how to use Skype, and we were having problems with audio. But we ended up talking, and I was telling him I was frustrated with this whole technique. And one of the things he was telling me was that, you know, when you're trying to do these runs, he said, start like doing it like just mute everything, like. And then slowly stop muting it, like as your coordination with your left and right hand gets better, like. You know, and then move it up and down the string. So, you know, he would tell me that he was great. He was such a great guy. He was just telling me that, you know, even he struggles with some of those type of things. He doesn't play that way that much anymore. And then, of course, he goes into that ridiculous solo from the Danger thing. And I'm like, okay. But, you know, he basically just said, like, play the runs, but mute. Like, almost so that, like, you know, you can't even hear the note. And then just, you know, get better at it. So I guess my takeaways are bar, when you're doing these runs, use your finger to bar the first two. And then keep your fingers completely upright. And I hope those things help. See ya.